Salam Tanat, Eina Yist Elim. Greetings, Ras Yadinos Teferi. This is Ras Iodonis, or more preferably Yadin, but formally Yadinos, Ras Yadinos Teferi. Shabbat Shalom, Senbet Salam. We are entering into the 49th Senbet or Sabbath Sabbatical time period, the Sabbath house readings for this particular Senbet or Sabbath, which is coming in, which will be August 14th, but this is actually Friday the 13th, August Friday the 13th, 2010, and we're in the particular reading that's known by Marinya as the YHWH, and the Hebrew, it is called TEITZEI, TEITZEI, some would say, or TEITZEI. Some may even pronounce as TEITZEI. But it's very similar, TEITZEI and YHWH, if you understand. But one is our Royal Amharic, and one is in according to the prevailing Hebrew custom. And now, ones that may want to know exactly what are these readings, you know, like, and where can they obtain it? They can go to our website. It's been uploaded to our website at lojsociety.org. We advise you to go to lojsociety.org, and there you can download a free copy. Click on Weekly Sabbath Readings at lojsociety.org. And if you want to follow along and be in proper timing, we're at the 49th. You can scroll down to the 49th. It's on page 7 of that PDF document that's called the Sabbath House Readings. But click on Weekly Sabbath Readings and you'll have the free PDF. Download that and you can utilize that. It has the Orit, the Torah readings, as well as the Nabiyat, the Haftorah readings, as well as the Bar Hadasha or Adis Kidan reading. So we are entering into the Senbet time, seeing this is the evening time, the evening of the Sabbath, and evening and morning. That is the Most High's original order as revealed from the very first chapter of Genesis. But since we are living in the world and living in Babylon, and everything is by Greenwich time or by the Gentiles' misinterpretation of time, that throws us out of alignment, or we're in a disorientated state. This is why when one's asked when the Sabbath begins, it begins on the evening, Friday evening. People say, well, why does it begin so-called what they call Friday evening? Because actually evening and morning is one day. So the evening precedes the morning to make the day. So the Senbet, this is the evening part. Actually, this is the Sabbath evening is now. And actually, we're going to have the morning. Hopefully we'll have the morning or the daytime. And then when the sun goes down on Saturday, that part of the evening right there is actually Ehud, or Sunday, or the first day. And we're going to put forward some information. We've been working on some information about the chronology and time telling, which will be other publications and postings as well. But just to cover the overview, so ones can actually study this in their own house, family, to keep the Sabbath set apart, keep the Sabbath holy. Once again, go to our website, lojsociety.org, and on the left-hand side, click on Weekly Sabbath Readings, and you can download the PDF, the free PDF, and utilize that for the sabbatical readings in your family, in your house, to keep the Sabbath Kedus, to keep the Sabbath holy. But let's just go to an overview of today's and this evening's, the beginning of the Senbet reading for the 49th Senbet of the year. Once again, the name of the Senbet, according to the Hebrew, is called TEITZEI. TEITZEI, and in the Amharic of His Majesty's Bible is called YHWH. And the Targum is in the time that you goeth forth, in the time that you comest out or goest forth. And it begins with domestic regulations. Domestic regulations are covered in this reading in the first bait. Then a prodigal son. The prodigal son under law also covers the remaining part of chapter 21 of Deuteronomy. If we look at the chart for YHWH or TEITZEI, is Deuteronomy 21, from Deuteronomy 21 verse 10 to Deuteronomy 25 verse 19. So these are excellent studies for the Senbet day, whether individually or collectively as a family. So when the law, or actually the commandments of God, which is part of the law, but the main essential part, the pure part of the law, because there's other regulations in the law like animal sacrifice, which has been done away with. This has led to certain interpretations of perhaps extreme vegetarianism, or definitely cruelty to animals has been overturned by the Moshiach. So don't think that it's something that Babylon has made up because of the kindness of his heart. Whoa. So it's the fourth commandment. The fourth commandment, which reads, to remember, to hallow, or to make holy, to set apart the Senbet day. That's the what's known as the fourth commandment, the first verse of the fourth commandment found in Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. And what we hope to also upload and have on the internet, you have to look at the change of God's law. In other words, the commandments and change of God's law, what has gone on with the fulfilling of prophecy, the man of sin, and they will seek to change laws and time. That's a particular prophecy that's found in Daniel. This is why the Sabbath is not really practiced and observed, and it's very little, if at all, even understood, even by those who should understand, and there's so much confusion around that particular subject matter. But the particular reading for this Sabbath, and like we said, you can go to our website and there's a free PDF to download it for the 54 Sabbaths in the Holy Hebrew year. You can download it for free and utilize that in your Sabbath readings and studies, as well as the weekly readings. These studies go on through the week. The readings usually take place on the Sabbath and amongst the congregation, you know, amongst those in the synagogue or those in the gathering. So we as elect Rastafari have to also practice this. In other words, have to step up, you understand, from some of the older so-called practices or traditions or customs that with good intent have been handed down to us, but was just a stepping stone to the true teaching of His Imperial Majesty. Now, as we were stating about this Senbet reading, the 49th, what's known as the YHWH or TEITZEI, means going forth, in the time when you goest forth, Now, in the King James and in the Chemosh, or the so-called Tanakh, the Masoretic, it reads a little different in the beginning verse. I'm going to first read the King James, and then just to compare the reading with the Tanakh or the Chemosh or the 5 books that's used by the so-called Jews. it says in verse 10, Deuteronomy 21, verse 10, and this begins off domestic regulations, is the Torah reading concerning domestic relations. Says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yah'weyh thy Eloh hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, verse 11, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire to her, that thou shouldest have her to thy wife, verse 12, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, verse 13, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from